Okay guys, so I want to talk to you about your scale weight when you're trying to lose weight, because at times scale weight is going to play a massive trick on you. And it isn't that you're not dropping body fat, it isn't that you're not making excellent progress, especially if you're sticking to everything. If you're getting your daily steps in, you're doing your training systems with full effort, you're progressing your lifts, you're pushing yourself, and also you're doing your cardio, you're sticking to your nutritional plan, so you know you've created that energy deficit. There are actually still going to be times when your scale weight just jumps. And it's not jumping because you've gained body fat. It's jumping because there's more things at play. And that's what I'm about to jump into on this video. So the factors that affect your scale weight for most people, first and foremost, it's going to be sodium intake. Now this doesn't always mean salt that you add into your foods. It could be salt that's already in the foods that you're actually eating. So if your sodium intake from the food that you're eating is really, really high, it's going to lead to heightened water retention. So just from adding more sodium-based foods, more salt-based foods, or salt to your meals, you're going to see fluctuations in scale weight through water retention. Has absolutely nothing to do with body fat. Then we're going to look at food types. So food types can actually be a good or a bad thing. So one person might respond well to, let's say, bread, and the other person might not respond well to bread. Digestively, if you're achieving gut discomfort or disturbance, we're going to start to see the mast cells in the gut release more histamine, which again leads to water retention. So playing detective with the type of foods that you're eating is so important. If you felt bloated from a food, if you felt digestively some discomfort from a food, then you want to mark that food down as a potential irritant. If that food irritant is constantly prevalent in your diet and it's giving you these issues, it's going to lead to fluctuations again in water retention that again might lead to scale weight increasing. Again, got nothing to do with body fat. And as I said, this is going to affect your digestive process. So we want to be looking at foods that you can digest comfortably, that aren't going to cause any disturbance, which isn't going to lead to more water retention. Then we're going to look at hormones. So men and women are wired massively differently. We also, from a hormonal point of view, have different levels of hormones. So especially when we're looking at estrogen, especially when we're looking at progesterone, we're going to see changes once again, and we're always going to come back to it. It's largely water jumps that you're seeing. Water and glycogen tend to be the most dominant reasons why your scale weight's jumping. Not because you're actually gaining body fat. The only way that you're gaining body fat back is if you're going off plan. You're not sticking to your calorie deficit, if you're not doing your daily training sessions or whatever the plan is for you, and not getting your steps in. So hormones will have a massive role to play, and especially when you're menstruating, there's going to be times when the hormonal system, the endocrine system, is going through changes that's leading to changes in physiology, changes in metabolism that might lead to scale weight jumping. Then also carbohydrates, so glycogen. So when we look at carbohydrates, these are not water-phobic. So they're not water-phobic nutrients. If anything, carbohydrates love water. And for every 1 gram of carbohydrate that you consume, your body will pull in 3 to 4 grams of water into the cell that it stores those carbohydrates with. So this is important because if you have a high carbohydrate meal at night, but then weigh yourself the following morning and your scale weight's up, again, it's got nothing to do with body fat. Always think about it from this point of view. If your scale weight jumps and you haven't gone off track, it's likely to be some of these issues. So first and foremost, relax. Know that it's going to be these issues, because for your body to create just an extra pound of body fat, it's going to need at least 3,600 calories. If you take into consideration metabolism and the fact that any calories coming in, you're also going to be burning them. You're going to be looking at more like 4,000 plus just to store 1 pound of body fat. So from a day-to-day basis, if it's jumped a couple of pounds, it's got absolutely nothing, and you've not gone off track, it's got absolutely nothing to do with body fat. And it's got everything to do with factors that affect your scale weight. So don't pay too much attention to it. Play detective, find out what it might be that's affecting your physiology, but most importantly, relax. Understand it's a process that leads to an outcome. It's not a case of checking your actual scale weight daily and expecting to see huge changes. It's what we're going to achieve over a 12-20 week fat loss period, before then adjusting those calories, boosting them back up, being able to bring them down, and then go again to get leaner.